threw the question out there, would you rather be the main woman or the side woman? And I mentioned, that I myself have been on both sides of the fence. And they both have their, just like anything else, they have their pros, they have their cons. Both have pros, both have cons, both have advantages, both have disadvantages, I suppose. And it also depends on your perspective and what it is that you are seeking at the time. Obviously, if you are longing for a certain, a deeper connection and understanding and commitment with something, commitment with someone, then obviously, just being the woman on the side isn't gonna cut it for you. You're gonna feel like you're at a deficit. You're gonna feel like you're still needing, and you're gonna feel like your needs are not being met because what you are in and acquiescing to, or basically you're just, in other words, you are reluctantly agreeing. You're agreeing to something that you don't really want to do, but you're agreeing to it. You're just trying to keep the peace, right? So, in your acquiescence to that situation, if you are knowingly a woman that's on the side, if you talking to someone that's married, that's, they got a girl, they living together, and you're, entertaining this situation, just know, if unless you are comfortable in your position, try to understand, yes, if could explain why you would be feeling some type of way, because you're trying to turn a side woman position into a main woman position, and vice versa, right? Look, let's get deep and let's get real. uh as the main woman, you are the wife, you are the girlfriend, right? You are the caregiver, the nurturer, all of these things. In that position, it might just be you and the spouse. It may be you, the spouse, and kids, right, that you now have to attend to and be responsible for, and all of these things. As the wife, as the girlfriend, you probably have a certain amount of, well, if you're the wife, you have a certain amount of legal say, and if you're in I guess, a comfortable situation, um, you have a legal say to the money that's acquired in the course of that marriage and relationship. Now, if you're just in a relationship, long-term relationship, 9 times out of 10, your man is recognizing you as the main one. Hopefully he's taking care of home before anything or anyone else. And basically, he's going to make sure that you are provided for and taken care of, and everything. I mean, basically everything that the husband would do, except you're not, you don't have the legal right outside of, I guess, states that adhere to commonwealth marriages and stuff like that. You don't really have the legal say to, if it was to come down to it, hey, y'all, oh, we've been in this relationship for 10 years. Now I'm ready to split. I want half. You don't have that legal say. Oh, this, yeah, you've been messing up the whole time. You've been messing around. You've been doing whatever you've been doing. You ain't been doing what you're supposed to be doing at home. I'm ready to leave. It's been 5 years, 10 years, but guess what? You don't have not a legal say to nothing. You can't, you know what I mean? So, and that's as the girl. I feel like as far as being a main woman is concerned, being a girlfriend is like a relationship legal purgatory. Why? Because, oh, I said purgatory. Excuse me. I said purgatory. I'm in limbo because you're stuck in between this place where you are playing the role. You could be very well playing the role of a wife, but you don't have the legal rights that the wife would have. So it's definitely something to think about for those of you who are in these long-term relationships. And don't get me wrong, if it sits right with you, if it's okay with you, if you don't if you feel like, oh, I'm good, I don't care about their money, this and the third, or oh, I'm good, I don't care about the work and effort that I've put into you in this relationship, and if it should so fall, I'm okay with walking away with nothing. If that's you, then more power to you. But for those of us who are, in our 30s, 40s, even late 20s, like by that point you probably are starting to feel the need to find some sense of security, and it's very hard to do if you're in a relationship that doesn't have that you don't really have that same sense of secure I'm outside, that you don't have that same sense of monetary security, right? So basically you don't have the security of knowing that if things were to go left or right today or tomorrow, you don't have the security of knowing that you'll be taken care of. Whereas though the wife, if they've been together for, I know some states, so I guess some states it's right away, and then some states there is a certain time frame that they've placed on it, to where as though you have to be together for a certain amount of years before you qualify to get half. For instance, I was listening to Deb Cooper, right? I like to listen to her show. I was listening to her, and one of her callers, or maybe it was someone who had written into to her, had basically said that they were waiting to, oh, wait, oh, I'm so sorry, y'all. Not I was listening to Deb Cooper, but my bad, it wasn't Deb Cooper. It was Auntie Shira 7. I was listening to Shira, and she had some people call into the show, and one of the women on there had mentioned, she said, well, I'm in this situation, right? I'm married. I'm in this situation. I already know that he's cheating. I already know he's doing him. In fact, she goes as far as to say, well, I done already told him, do you, right? Because she knew. She told Shira, she said, well, because we've been married for, it's been 6 years now, going on 7, and she said, I'm waiting on 7 years. I'm waiting on that 7-year mark. Excuse me, y'all. I'm waiting on that 7-year mark. Why? So I can go ahead and file for divorce, and get half. Basically, in the state that she was living in, for the wife to qualify for half of her husband's earnings. And I'm guessing this is in the case that it wasn't acquired together, like maybe coming into the relationship. In fact, yeah, because she had also mentioned that this, her husband owned some restaurants and stuff like that. So obviously, he was basically somewhat well off, right? So her thing was, I'm guessing that maybe when she came into the relationship, she probably did not have, right, as much as he did or whatever. So he's been the provider. So for her to be able to get half, she would have to have been in the marriage for 7 years, and that's what she did. She's sticking it out. She said, oh no, I'm waiting on 7 years so that I can go ahead and file for divorce, and I'm going to get half. Now, take this same situation. If she was with this man for 6 years, right? Let's say you've been, it's very easy to do. Let's say she was just in a long-term relationship for 6 years. And here it is, they in the same situation. He cheating, he doing whatever. at that point, she would have nothing to, it wouldn't be, oh, well, I'm waiting on year 7 so I can at least file for divorce and get half. No, she's going to be waiting on year 7, either hoping that he's going to change, right? Or biting the bullet, knowing when to fold. I'm a poker player. And in poker, they have this thing called fold. When you have a bad hand, right, you got to know when to fold. You fold because otherwise you're going to keep betting, keep putting money up, trying to win, right? So people fold when they are ready to count their losses. So, and in this situation, if she wasn't married, she would basically either have to do one of the two. Either she's going to fold and count her losses, or, keep going and acquiescing, that's our new word today, to some bullshit that she doesn't really want to deal with. Right? Because at that point, because she would probably feel like, well, damn, I want to get something out of it. Maybe she wants to get married, whatever it is that she would want to get out of it, but it ain't going to be monetary gain. So, it's definitely something to think about. Now, she also mentioned, right? She said, well, her problem with the situation. Now, wait a minute, check this hard leg hoe out. Her problem with the situation was not the fact that he's cheating. She set out. But this motherfucker he ain't even giving me no money. Because she told him, she said, look, okay, you doing you, do you, but take care of home. And she said that basically her issue, the reason why she's waiting on year number 7 is because he's not even doing that. So she ever told him, she was like, oh, because basically, yeah, because he's not trying to pay for 2 women right now. He done found something else, that's entertaining him right now. That's what he wants to spend his money on. He feels like you're in the house, you're not going anywhere. So yeah, he's tricking out money on her. So she said, okay, you know what, bitch, I got something for that. That's all right. I'm waiting on year 7. It's 6 and about to be 7. And bitch, as soon as it's year 7, bitch, I'm going to divorce. That's what she said. So you know what? I'm like, yeah, she's playing it smart. She's playing it smart because, otherwise what she's gonna walk away, divorce, maybe not get, the same in the settlement or whatever. She may feel a certain amount of entitlement based on what she's been dealing with, So now, that's that. So I want to, I guess, just list maybe just a few, of the, I guess what I would say would be the upside to, because we just talked about, being the wife, being the main girlfriend, whatever. But I want to talk a little bit about the dark side, right? Let's talk about the dark side. On the dark side, being the one in the shadows, being the one on the sidelines, the mystery. I'm being theatrical. Being on the side. So this is a multifaceted thing because there's more than one way that women end up being basically, quote unquote side woman, right? A mistress. A mistress would be the woman on the side of a marriage. I suppose the side chick is the one on the side of a committed relationship. And even in that, there, I guess, would be different levels. So for someone who maybe, let's say maybe you would like some type of companionship from a guy, but you really don't want the responsibility of him. You know what I mean? Now, if you've never lived with a man, you don't even really know what I'm talking about. But for those of you who do, and if you're watching me, I know a lot of you guys are maybe a little younger than me, but then some of y'all are like around my age, right? So By this time, you've at least had one boyfriend, one long-term relationship, and probably at least lived with a man once in your life, right? So if you are able to be in your femininity, right? You're gonna want to cook. You're gonna want to clean. You're gonna want to cater to that man in a certain way. Why? Because he's in his masculine energy and is able to provide for you. So I'm gonna speak for me, right? For me, in my experience, hold on, let me turn this heat down. Okay, let's just turn it off. Oh, y'all can see me. You can see me walk okay. You can see me walk okay. Anyway, so yes, if he is, you know, providing for you and protecting you and providing it, from I'm going to speak for me as a woman, it allows me to be completely in my femininity and my feminine energy. And when I'm in my feminine energy, that's the way I'm operating. So yes, I'm cooking for my man. I'm cleaning up behind him. I'm making sure that the house is clean. I'm making sure that I'm gonna make sure I look good for myself, whether he's around or not. Cause I'll get tired of, I go in the in the bathroom, be looking in the mirror like, all right, bitch, goddamn, like vagrant much, right? But it's important to me as a woman to feel sexy for myself and to feel like I'm looking cute for myself. Because if I don't feel like I'm looking cute, then guess what? Ain't nobody getting none. We're not doing anything because I don't feel sexy, right? So it's very very important for me to keep myself up in that way. And if I'm feeling sexy for me, then I can look good. I in turn, I'm looking good for me, and then he gets to see it too, right? So um, after him going out and like right now my current relationship, he may work a 12-hour shift, and after 12 hours I'm gonna make sure that he has some dinner. I'm gonna make sure that he has lunch and breakfast for that matter for the next day because he's working 12 hours. So for me, being able to do those things, um I don't mind it and I enjoy it because I feel like I'm in my feminine energy. However, again, if this is not something that you are looking forward to wanting to do, or if it's not something that someone can bring out of you by being that masculine energy to your feminine and being a provider and protector, if it's not coming out in that natural way, um then you might just want to have somebody to talk to you and to be around, and yeah, maybe kick out a couple bucks and then to leave and to go and maybe not have to take care of them in that way as far as catering to them, right? So for you, um yeah, a something that's not that serious would be ideal. And also, if you, let's say you're single, you moving around, you making moves, you may not want to feel tied down by a relationship. You may not want the responsibility of having to worry about somebody else's feelings or somebody else worrying about where you're at, what you're doing, right? um and vice versa. You may not want to have to worry about where someone else is at and what they're doing. So there's a lot of different reasons why someone would choose to not be in a relationship and to basically play a side role. Sometimes it is knowing. Sometimes bitches have no clue, right? Sometimes bitches don't care, right? I've been in that category, and I'll explain why in a minute. And then sometimes women know and don't care, not in an animosity type of way, not in a ratchet type of way, but just they it doesn't bother them that they're in a that the guy that they're seeing is in a relationship with someone else, because their motives and reasons and what they're wanting to get out of a relationship with him may not necessarily be for a committed relationship. So to speak on my own experience, as in as a entertainer, I've definitely been on the side end, right? I've been on the side. I have been the woman who maybe, the guy wants to come and see me once a week after work. He doesn't want to mess up anything at home. Maybe just wants to come and have some fun and is willing to compensate me handsomely for it, right? That has been my experience as far as being in a, knowingly being on the side. And in this way, or at least in that capacity, I basically was, as a professional, I'm offering a service. I'm offering a service, and them being my client patron my service. So it's not the same as your regular square dating situations where, guy meets girl, girl likes guy, so girl entertains guy based on emotional feelings and companionship. No, it's purely a monetary transaction. That's been my experience. And again, if I was at the time wanting to find someone for myself, then that experience would not, it wouldn't benefit me in that way. I'd just be like, okay, I'm just making some money. However, for me as a professional, I'm not concerned about I'm not concerned about my position as far as being romantically connected to this person. Not in the least. It's I'm there to provide a service. They are literally paying for my time to be there and to enjoy that service. So, in that way, I have functioned as a side, as a woman on the side. But again, there's women who have full blown relationships, I guess. Like they say shit like, "Oh, I wish he didn't have to spend so much time at home because I miss him too," and this and that.